I'm Corbett Wall with DV Auction, here with your feeder flash for Thursday, October the 15th, brought to you in part by Sweet Pro Premium Supplements. Sweet Pro blocks boost fertility, improve herd health, and allow calves to gain more pounds on pasture. For more information, visit sweetpro.com. We lost $1 on Wednesday. You know, the board was down really hard Wednesday morning, and guys kind of lost faith and started bailing out pretty early. It seemed like some of your bigger feeders were wanting to get the basis more back in line. But then later in the day, later in the session on the trading in your cattle futures, your board came back a little bit, and they were actually only down marginally, but down hard early in the day. But we went from $1.09 down to $1.08 for the most part, and it's bad when we were gaining. And we'd gained about $8 in the last 6 weeks, or last 4 weeks actually, and then went down to $1.08. And when we lose that traction, we've kind of lost the draft now, and so it'll be hard to gain it back. But it's bad when you lose $1 whenever you're trying to gain ground. But I tell you what, in Fallon, Nevada, on Wednesday, had the big Ranchers for Trump rally. It was an awesome event. We had a great time. Big crowd out there. I tell you what, people coming from all over, and a huge crowd there. And Don Jr. knocked it out of the park, absolutely. Just a great rally. I was expecting him to be very good, and he was much better than I expected that he would be. And we had a good time there at the rally. We sold several items there before, donated items, and then as soon as the rally was over, we went into the sale barn at Nevada Livestock Marketing and sold a lot of cattle and gained a lot of money, all for the Trump victory campaign. But it was unbelievable, the generosity of people donating cattle, buying cattle with donated dollars. And I tell you what, it just made you feel good about the ag community and their support for Donald J. Trump for re-election as president. But I tell you what, it was quite a deal, and I wish you guys could have been there. Those of you who weren't, we had it streamed live on dvauction.com. We had a big crowd there that was watching the rally, and then a lot of people bid and bought cattle with actually donated money, because most of them didn't actually take the cattle, but a lot of people donated money online, and a lot of people in the crowd donated money. And I don't have the totals for you. Whenever I get those on our next visit, I'll donate those, or I'll give those totals to you for what we got total money gathered up for the Trump victory campaign there. But I want to talk about Jack Payne and his family there. He's the one that owns and operates the auction there at Nevada Livestock Marketing. Really a great guy. I visited with him and talked to him many times, but never actually been around him in person, but I have on this trip, and he is really truly a great guy there. And we had a great time, and he went to just unreasonable efforts to put this rally on, and it was a great event. Let's talk about the board on Wednesday. October live cattle futures down 45 cents at 108.37. And like I said, it was down much harder than that earlier in the day. December down 95 cents on the close at 110.27. You're going out your out fronts on live cattle, and they were down 35 cents to down 57. So not too bad really. On your feeder cattle futures, October was actually up 25 cents on the close at 138.37. November down a half $1 at 136.32. And you're going out from there down 2 cents to down 90. Your fat cattle trade, and like I said, it was disappointing. I mean, when you're on the upswing and then you give it up and back up $1, it's really a disheartening thing. But confirmed sales out of Iowa, 2,000 head from 107 to mostly 109. So the Southern Plains has lost their premium to the Northern Plains. It lasted one whole week. But we did have that premium in the Southern Plains, which was kind of an eye-opener, because we felt like we were way behind in marketing our heavy cattle in the Southern Plains. But we did trade at a premium in the Southern Plains last week, but now we're back to just under what the Northern Plains garnered. How about Nebraska? 7,200 head confirmed on Wednesday, 107 to 108, and it was pretty much split in 169 dressed. Kansas, 9,900 head, so pretty good movement out of Kansas, all at 108. and a few at 169. Texas, 5,000 head, 108. They had a few on the online set at 108 and a quarter. Box beef cutout values were lower, and that's one thing that makes the Packers hard to trade with there. Your choice cuts 211.14 down $1.30, and your select at 199.27 down 81 cents on Wednesday afternoon. Your slaughter's been pretty good for the week and keeping pace here. We're not dealing with the problems of the close-ups being dark or anywhere, and there is some cooler cleaning and things like that going on, but still keeping pretty good track. 356,000 through Wednesday. That was down 1,000 from last week, but up 5,000 from the same week a year ago. How about your feeder cattle market? Your real-time index on DV auction laid on Wednesday at 139.56, down 34 cents based on the 800-pound steer there. Talk about your big sales on Wednesday. OKC West, El Reno, Oklahoma, 5,700 head there. Feeder steers were mostly steady. Feeder heifers, $6 to $8 lower. That's telling me that your farmer feeders are getting on the backside of their harvest, and they're sending orders down there for steers because most of them just prefer steers and they don't get in on the heifers that much. But weaned calves, both steers and heifers, around steady to $2 higher. And we've been talking about that. It's October, it's dead calf month. I tell you what, if you've got weaned calves with their shots, they'll sell pretty good. But the ballers, the fleshy ballers pulled right off the calf, your kind of high risk type cattle, sharply lower, as much as $10 lower on your lightweight calves that were unweaned and didn't have any kind of a preconditioned program. But selling their feeder steers pretty good there. This one quote out of El Reno, 65 head, 786-pound steers bring 146.75. Nothing to sneeze at there. Winter Livestock, Dodge City, Kansas, 2,400 head there. Mostly feeder cattle and unevenly steady right in there, so kind of like last week. How about Bassett, Nebraska? They had a heck of a sale there, 3,800 head, and it was mostly on the bigger cattle. They've kind of been going back and forth between calf specials and their feeder type specials, but feeder steers weighing 8.5 to 9.5, and that was the bulk of their run, steady to $5 higher. Feeder heifers, they called a whole trend there, Market News did, just on your spayed heifers from 800 to 900 pounds, and they were unevenly steady. But you look at some of the quotes on this market report out of Bassett, 670 head of steers, averaged 873 at 149.23 on the average of all the 800-pound steers. And I tell you what, Bassett, Nebraska sold more 9-weight feeder steers for 150 and better than a lot of sales did on 5-weight calves 150 and better. But 1,053 head of 9-weight steers out of Bassett averaged 938 at 147.55. How about some other top quotes? Platt Livestock Market, Platt, South Dakota, 62 head, 497-pound steers, or right at 500 pounds, 178 and a quarter. How about a market we've never talked about before? Sidney Livestock Market Center, Sidney, Montana, sold 172 head, 502-pound steer calves at 166 and a quarter, way up there in Montana. But the best quote that I saw anywhere, of course, come out of Bassett, and I told you a little bit about these earlier, but 62 head, 909-pound steers in Bassett, Nebraska, 153.35. And that's your feeder flash for Thursday.